There is Devin Funchess, former NFL player, now playing for the Professional Colombia Basketball League. Name misspelled on his jersey, but that's okay. That happens. And I remember Funchess and Cam Newton standing on the field in Denver, first game of the 2016 season, the rematch of Super Bowl 50. Funchess, they ran out of S's. I mean, it happens. Funchess and Newton were giants. Giants. And guys get even larger when you put them in their NFL pads and cleats and helmets. But I remember looking at those two guys saying, those are giants. It's like Ralph Sampson and Akeem Olajuwon. And look, one of them is now playing basketball. It is Columbia, but it's still professional basketball. And the Panthers say that Funchess is the first former NFL player to sign a professional basketball contract. Oh, Bud Grant played in the NBA before he played in the NFL. So Bud Grant has done both, NBA and NFL. And, I mean, come on. Columbia Basketball League, it's not quite the NBA. I have a feeling it's a few levels down, if not 20 from the NBA. But still, good for Devin Funchess remaining in the game. And Charean, we talked about this yesterday. The Austin Rivers take that 30 NFL players couldn't play in the NBA, but 30 NBA players could play in the NFL. That overlooks the reality. And just to remind everyone what I said yesterday and to tell Charean for the first time, because I doubt she watched the show yesterday because she would have been asleep because she's, an hour behind. The idea is you pick your lane early and you perfect your craft. And something draws you to one sport or the other. So we never know how a guy would blossom in another sport because he picked one and he went there and he reached the highest level. Would he have reached the highest level of another sport if he had picked that lane and gone that way? We don't know and we'll never know. And the great tragedy would be somebody who picked the wrong lane and had their career fizzle out, whereas if they had gone to a different sport, they could have made it all the way to the top of the mountain.
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. But I do think you've seen enough, especially at the tight end position, guys who played college football and made that adjustment to playing tight end in the NFL. There are a ton of those guys. And I think those guys could have played probably professional basketball, as you said, if they had chosen to go that route out of college instead of choosing to go the NFL route. And it just so happened that they worked out that they went to the NFL. But I think a lot of those tight ends who made the conversion could have played in the NBA. I truly believe that.
Yeah, and you just would have had to get started a lot earlier, perfect your craft. One of the things about playing basketball, at the end of the day, you better be able to get the ball into the basket. And when you watch an NBA game, you take for granted what great shooters they are. If you're just a guy that can't shoot, and the only position that even remotely relies on that skill is quarterback, if you just can't shoot, then that's that. And if you can never develop it, and if you don't put the hours into it to develop to the point where it is automatic, you're never going to get there. So we just don't. I think it trivializes the exercise to say we're just going to take 30 NBA players and put them in the NFL, and we're going to take 30 NFL players and put them in the NBA. Charles Barkley chimed in last night on TNT. He said, Austin Rivers, I love you. We can't play football. Austin Rivers, you're doing a great job. But to say we've got 30 or 40 NBA players who can go play in the NFL, we can't. But Shaq disagreed. Now, Shaq could have shown up and played pro football. Put him at left tackle. Could you imagine Shaq at left tackle? Could you imagine that? And that was the point Chris made yesterday. There's a lot of guys playing college basketball who have the frame that if you just put the weight on them, they could be competent left tackles in the NFL.
Well, the kid from North Carolina State this year, remember, everybody wants him to go play in the NFL because try out for the NFL but he's never done it before. So can he or can't he? I would love to find out if he could play in the NFL, but I don't know that we'll ever find that out.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.